Hi, Jeff Burke here from Broadband Forum, and we're here in Warsaw, Poland at our Q1 meeting. I'm here going through some interviews with our work area leadership, and I'm here with Jason Walls from QA Cafe. Hello, Jason. How are you?
I'm great.
Well, we've had a really exciting last quarter or so with news coming out of the bus work area in general. I know that we ended last year at 1 billion subscribers on TR69 worldwide, and now we're actually we actually have some recent updates where that's projected to be 1.2 billion in the next couple of years. It's amazing how fast things are progressing.
It's incredibly fast. Much faster than, it keeps ramping up and getting, it's kind of a snowball effect, right?
Right. Well, it's just, and your work area is really focused on making sure that not only is that next billion being served correctly, but the existing billion are basically having a better user experience across the connected home. So maybe you could tell us a little bit about BUS.
So BUS stands for Broadband User Services, and so we take the focus of the end user and the end user experience and making it so that the service providers can increase the quality of that end user experience through technologies in the home network, through management technologies like TR69 and its evolution USP, and modeling the components of a home network such that they can be managed by those protocols.
Well, I know that we had some interesting news just recently at Mobile World Congress. TR398 really made its formal debut.Maybe you could tell us a little bit about that work.
So that actually develops a set of performance metrics that can be tested in a laboratory environment for Wi-Fi devices. It sets certain benchmarks for certain deployment criteria. It actually gets very specific in terms of the kinds of impairments that are there to actually simulate different home networks and making sure that the Wi-Fi devices are actually meeting certain criteria to make sure that the end user experience is a high enough quality that the service provider can say, yes, this is the service that I'm providing, and you want to keep subscribing to it.
Well, certainly, Wi-Fi is now really defining what the broadband experience is, because virtually every device is really connecting to the internet in that fashion. One other thing that I know really is gaining momentum, and I think we can officially say that 2019 is going to be the year of USP. Maybe you could talk a little bit about USP and some of the work that's going on with USP certification and USP agent coming up.
Oh yeah, so the user services platform, named after our group, right, is an evolution of of TR69, which brought us to that 1 billion subscribers, and it's really built to go to sort of the next step of the things that are going to be out there, especially Wi-Fi devices. It's lighter weight. We've made a lot of design choices that sort of fixed things that that weren't TR69 wasn't helpful with anymore. We had to kind of move on from that and make sure that it was backwards compatible with the previous deployments of TR69 so that providers could make an easy transition. And what it allows for, especially from a Wi-Fi perspective, is the easier management of devices that aren't necessarily just the home gateway, right? All of the other types of Wi-Fi devices that you find. And making it easy for the provider to get visibility into all that. We're adding more parameters to the model of what describes that wireless home network, so it can be more easily managed and steered and again ensuring the subscriber experience. But the main benefit of using USP for that is now that sort of the provider doesn't have to be locked down to trying to do it one way or another way. They can have, because of our multi-controller environment, you can have some applications managing the Wi-Fi, you could have some applications managing something else. And with the ability to do software module management, it really turns the gateway into a smart gateway. So you can install some other providers, Wi-Fi management software on something and have it do that, and then manage that with the USP. You could have a third party use USP to manage the Wi-Fi, or you have a different system in your own provider environment to do it. Or you can even give the end user control using the exact same protocol in their home network to monitor stuff on their own.
That's, well, it's fantastic. It really has a lot of promise here this coming year. I know that we have certification and plug fests here coming up.
Yeah, so we have a Plug Fest coming up in 2 weeks. That's going to be the third Plug Fest. We'll probably do them about every 6 months. But in the middle of that, in the middle of summer, we're going to be launching a certification plan for USP agents, so people can follow that test specification. We're probably going to be doing it with self-testing, where you have to certify that you did it correctly and present a report and that kind of thing. And that allows everyone to sort of prove that they'll interoperate with the ecosystem that we're developing. And part of helping that is the OB USP agent project, and OB stands for Open Broadband. And those are the open source projects that the Broadband Forum has started. And so what's great about that is it's an open source project that was developed by a standard, and those two things are sort of working together. So the open source agent will provide sort of the baseline protocol stack for people to implement into their devices, and then the certification plan will make sure that all of the integration work has been done correctly after people have used that.
You know, we may want to chat about this for 1 second, because I know that there are obviously some other platforms that are out there that basically are not necessarily as open and tend to be a little more proprietary. Maybe we can make a couple of quick distinctions between what USP is and what some of the other platforms that are out there are about.
It's not that I don't want to necessarily fault anyone for developing those. Those have all come out of a very specific set of use cases. That have come from very specific pain points that providers have been having. And they're painful enough that people are racing to solve those problems, right? There's a lot of very high competition with that.
Which happens in technology all the time.
All the time.
Until
right.
you get you're at a point to have a global standard. Right?
Exactly. And because we have so much experience doing this with TR69 that it's such a natural fit for these sorts of situations. So the things that you'll be able to do with USP, these solutions that people are building now are a subset of what you can do with USP, and USP will do it in an open and standardized way.
That's phenomenal. Well, as I said, I think that you and I would both agree 2019 seems to be the year of USP, and I think that we'll just be gaining momentum over the course of the year with more and more announcements of both adoption by large service providers, as well as really new rollouts of releases and features and things.
Well, and new services and new applications too. One of the things that has been amazing during this meeting for me is that a lot of the people that are coming here are people who develop third-party applications that they want to put in the gateway. And USP is a big enabler for that. So you have people who are doing security services, or additional troubleshooting resources for service providers, and the ability to install those things on gateways and then have them managed by USP is an obvious enough advantage that we're getting a whole bunch of new interest from people like that, and we've never had people like that before, so it's really exciting.
Well, I guess that maybe that's the last question I wanted to ask you, which is there anything you want to say to folks that are starting to look at USP and want to get involved with this work?
To really take a step back and think about the use cases that it enables, because it's vastly more than we've even dreamed to address in broadband user services, and so it applies to an awful lot of people. And that's the kind of work that we appreciate here, is when people see that they have an interest in helping develop the protocol or helping develop the data models especially, and they come in and say, hey, I want my stuff to be added to that, and then come in and help us do that.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Jason. I'm really excited for what BUS has going on in 2019.
Thank you.
And thank you for the update. This is Jeff Burke signing off from Warsaw.